Social intelligence is the skill that transforms ordinary people into unforgettable ones. It's the quiet power behind influence, connection, and confidence. Some people can walk into any room and instantly feel like they belong, not because they're the smartest, but because they understand people. This book will teach you that skill. You'll learn to read energy, navigate emotions, and connect with anyone, anywhere. Social mastery isn't magic. It's awareness, presence, and intention. Stay with this journey and subscribe, because what you're about to learn will change how the world responds to you forever. Chapter 1: Understanding the Social Landscape. The world is not shaped by information alone. It's shaped by interaction. Every place you walk into, every room, every office, every gathering already has an emotional climate. Some rooms feel warm, some feel cold, some feel tense without anyone saying a word. That invisible environment is the social landscape, and before you speak, before you move, you must learn to read it. People who master social intelligence don't rush into conversations. They observe the room. They watch the energy. They notice who dominates space, who shrinks, who avoids eye contact, who speaks with ease. They understand the unseen flow beneath the surface. Because social interaction isn't random. It's a pattern of emotions, signals, and unspoken expectations. To navigate it, you need awareness, not overthinking, just gentle noticing. Every group has a rhythm. Some flow slowly, some move fast, some include everyone, some guard their circle. You can feel it in posture, in tone, in silence. When you walk into a new environment, don't force your way in, feel your way in. A social master understands that presence comes before words. Your energy steps in first, your voice follows. Understanding the social landscape starts with learning that people rarely say what they truly feel. They express themselves through expression, not explanation. A half smile tells you more than a full sentence. A slight nod reveals more respect than a compliment. A clenched jaw speaks louder than anger shouted across a room. To master communication, you must learn to listen with your eyes. People are constantly broadcasting their emotional state. You just need to tune into the frequency. In social spaces, confidence is not the loudest voice. It's the calmest presence. Calm energy settles a room. Calm energy creates trust. When your presence is steady, others adjust themselves to you. Not because you control them, but because your balance invites their balance. Social intelligence is also the ability to sense group dynamics. Some people naturally lead. Some support. Some seek validation. Some protect themselves by keeping distance. When you understand these roles, you stop taking coldness personally. You stop trying too hard to impress. You stop expecting everyone to engage at the same level. You simply adjust your approach, and in that adjustment, mastery grows. The socially unaware person treats every room the same. They talk the same way everywhere. They carry the same intensity everywhere. They miss the cues, miss the energy, miss the moment. A social master adapts not to please others, but to navigate smooth communication. Adaptation is intelligence, not insecurity. Think of the social landscape like weather. Some days are bright, some are cloudy. Some storms build quietly long before the first sound of thunder. A socially intelligent person predicts the weather by reading the smallest details. They adjust their tone like you adjust your umbrella, not because they're unsure, but because they're aware. Social intelligence also means understanding emotional temperature. Some conversations can be warm, some can be cool, some must be kept neutral. If you enter a warm room with cold energy, you shut people down. If you enter a cold room with too much warmth, you overwhelm them. Social masters sense this balance and match it gently. Then influence it slowly. You don't dominate the social environment, you dance with it. The landscape is shaped by stories too. Every person carries their past into the present. Their fears, their hopes, their insecurities, their experiences of rejection or belonging. When you understand this, judgment softens. You stop assuming someone is rude just because they're quiet. You stop thinking someone hates you because they didn't smile. You see deeper. You understand that everyone is fighting something, and that understanding makes you more patient, more graceful. Grace is the highest form of social intelligence. Understanding the social landscape means recognizing that people mirror each other. If you are tense, they become tense. If you are open, they relax. If you are confident, they feel safer. Your energy sets the tone of your interactions. This is why social masters prioritize internal calm before external communication. They don't rush. They don't force. They don't push conversations. They allow them to grow naturally. Social intelligence is also the ability to sense intention. People's words tell you what they think. Their energy tells you why they think it. Someone may speak politely, but with tension inside. Someone may disagree, but with genuine respect. Someone may praise you, but feel threatened. When you read intention, you stop reacting emotionally. You respond with clarity. Social masters don't chase validation. They create connection. Validation is shallow. Connection is powerful. The social landscape rewards those who bring authenticity, not artificial charm, not forced confidence, but sincere presence. People follow authenticity because it feels safe, it feels real, it feels refreshing in a world full of performance. Understanding the social landscape also requires self-awareness. You must know how you affect a room, your tone, your posture, your vibe. If you walk in with insecurity, the room absorbs it. If you walk in with calm confidence, the room rises with you. This awareness keeps you grounded. It prevents you from overstepping or shrinking. It puts you in the perfect center, true presence without pressure. The landscape shifts with time too. New people enter, old dynamics fade, relationships evolve. Social masters don't cling to old versions of people. They adjust to who the person is today. Because growth changes everyone, and social intelligence evolves with it. In this landscape, influence doesn't come from dominance. It comes from alignment, aligning your energy with the room, aligning your intention with the moment, aligning your communication with the emotional climate. Once you learn to see these patterns, you stop feeling lost. You start feeling in control. The world becomes readable. People become understandable. Conversations become effortless. Understanding the social landscape transforms you. It makes you steady in chaos, confident in silence, present in noise. You stop being someone who tries to fit in. You become someone who naturally stands out, because your presence speaks before your words ever do. And this foundation prepares you for everything that comes next. Because once you understand the room, you can start mastering the people in it. Chapter 2. Reading people with precision. Everyone sends signals. Most people miss them. Reading people with precision isn't mind reading. It's pattern reading. It's awareness sharpened through intention. It's learning to observe what others overlook. The socially intelligent person sees more than faces. They see emotions wrapped in micro-expressions. They hear more than words. They hear tone layered with truth. They feel more than gestures. They feel energy shifting beneath silence. This is the art of reading people. Quiet, subtle, powerful. Every human carries a story in the way they sit, stand, breathe, pause, and move. But you can't read people if you're busy performing. You must get out of your own head and into the moment. Precision begins with stillness. You become a calm observer of the room. Your mind slows. Your senses sharpen. Your awareness expands. Reading people starts with noticing the obvious. But mastery begins when you start noticing the subtle. A slight tightening of the lips. A micro frown that disappears in half a second. A quick inhale before responding. Hands clasping too tightly. Feet pointing toward the exit. Shoulders raised a little too high. Each signal whispers truth. Truth they may not say aloud. Truth they may not even realize themselves. Body language is the first language people speak. Words come later, shaped by fear, politeness, or strategy, but the body tells the raw story. When someone avoids eye contact suddenly, they're uncomfortable. When they look too long, they're searching for connection or acceptance. When they blink rapidly, their nervous system is activated. Posture gives away emotion. Slumped posture carries emotional weight. Leaning in signals curiosity. Leaning away signals withdrawal. A person's feet reveal their true intention. Feet point where the mind wants to go. If their feet turn away while their smile stays, their thoughts are already leaving the conversation. Reading people with precision is reading contradictions, what the body says versus what the mouth says. If the words say I'm okay, but the shoulders say tension, trust the shoulders. If the words say I'm not upset, but the jaw tightens, trust the jaw. The body leaks honesty. People also reveal themselves through rhythm, their speech pattern, their breathing pattern, their movement pattern. When someone speaks faster than normal, they're either excited or anxious. When they slow down, they're either tired, sad, or trying to hide something. Energy doesn't lie. Social masters read the energy first, the words second. You can sense when someone is warm. You can sense when someone is guarded. You can sense tension even if the person smiles. Energy is the emotional temperature of a person. Learn to feel that temperature shift. A subtle drop in voice, a deeper inhale, a quick glance at the door, a change in tone mid-sentence. These micro moments reveal transitions in emotion. The person may not express the shift, but you will feel it. Reading people requires empathy without absorption. You feel their emotional direction, but you don't drown in it. You sense sadness, but stay grounded. You sense anger, but stay neutral. You sense insecurity, but stay steady. This gives you power, the power to respond, not react. People also reveal themselves in choice of language. Not what they say, but how they say it. Some people hide behind polite words. Some deflect truth with humor. Some mask fear in confidence. Some use long explanations to hide uncertainty. A socially intelligent person listens for the emotion beneath the sentence. When someone says, "It's complicated," they mean, "I'm overwhelmed." When someone says it's fine, they mean, "It's not fine, but I'm protecting myself." When someone says, "I don't care," they often mean, "I care more than I can admit." Reading people is also reading silence. Silence is not empty. It's full of meaning. A warm silence is connection. A cold silence is distance. A tense silence is unresolved emotion. People rarely hide their reactions completely. Their body moves before their mind approves. A raised eyebrow, a tightened finger, a shifting foot, a small swallow. These signals come from the unconscious. The truth slips out naturally. Social intelligence grows when you stop judging these signals and start understanding them. Everyone reacts differently based on their frame of life. An insecure person withdraws. A dominant person leans forward. A hurt person looks away. A confident person softens their posture. Reading people with precision means respecting these emotional formulas. It means seeing them without labeling them. You're not trying to expose people. You're trying to understand them. Understanding creates connection. Connection creates influence. Once you understand people, you know how to navigate them, how to calm them, how to support them, how to communicate with them. Reading people is not manipulation. It is awareness, and awareness is connection without pressure. The socially blind person pushes communication. The socially intelligent person shapes it. They adjust their tone to match the person's emotional level. They adjust their pace to match the person's rhythm. They adjust their presence to match the moment's need. This is flexibility, a core skill of social masters. People also reveal themselves in patterns over time. Patterns don't lie. Someone who interrupts constantly is insecure about being unheard. Someone who brags constantly is afraid of being unseen. Someone who stays silent is afraid of being misunderstood. When you see patterns, you see the person beneath the persona. And when you see that person, your communication becomes compassionate and effective. Precision also comes from understanding emotional triggers. Triggers expose a person's fears. Noticing them gives you deep insight. A small comment that provokes a big reaction reveals old wounds. A joke taken too seriously reveals insecurity. A small mistake that causes guilt reveals pressure. Reading people is recognizing the emotional story behind their reaction. Every reaction is a chapter. Every gesture is a sentence. Every silence is a paragraph. People are walking books. Social masters know how to read them. Once you learn this skill, you stop taking behavior personally. You start seeing motivations clearly. You stop assuming. You start understanding. This understanding is the foundation of influence. Influence flows not from pressure, but from precision. When you read someone accurately, you can respond accurately, and the conversation becomes effortless. You know when to step in, when to step out, when to shift tone, when to soften energy, when to stay silent. This makes you feel powerful, not over others, but over the moment itself. The more you practice reading people, the clearer the world becomes. You start noticing what others ignore. You start understanding what others misinterpret. You start connecting in ways others cannot. And slowly, you become someone people trust instantly. Not because you speak well, but because you understand deeply. This is the essence of social mastery. Not louder words, not perfect manners, not rehearsed lines, but precise awareness, quiet perception, deep emotional intelligence. Once you learn to read people, you unlock the doors to every social environment. The world becomes predictable, people become readable, and communication becomes an art you control. Chapter 3: Emotional Signals and Social Alignment. Every moment of human interaction carries emotional signals. They appear before words, stay afterwards, and shape everything in between. People think communication begins when they speak. In reality, communication begins the moment they enter a space, the way they breathe, the way they hold their shoulders, the way they position themselves in relation to others. These signals silently broadcast emotion and intention. Reading them is only the first step. Aligning yourself with them, that is where social mastery begins. Emotional signals guide you like a map. They show you where someone is mentally. They reveal openness, resistance, interest, hesitation, and trust. When you learn to align with these signals instead of fighting them, you create harmony in interactions, and harmony creates influence. People respond not to your words first, but to the emotional tone behind them. That tone is the foundation of alignment. Every human carries an emotional frequency. Some walk with warmth, some with caution, some with excitement, some with fear. Your first task in any interaction is not to speak, it is to sense. You listen to the emotional frequency, then adjust your own energy to match it gently. Matching does not mean copying. It means aligning your approach so the person feels understood. If someone is tense, you soften your presence. If someone is shy, you slow your pace. If someone is excited, you lift your energy slightly. If someone is calm, you maintain steadiness. This alignment creates emotional safety, and emotional safety creates connection. People open up only when they feel emotionally matched. If your energy is too strong, they close. If your energy is too weak, they lose interest. If your energy is mismatched, they feel misunderstood. Alignment is the art of meeting people where they are, so you can guide them to where you want the interaction to go. Emotional signals are constant. A shift in posture, a sudden breath, a faint smile, a tightened hand. All these tiny signals tell you when to continue, when to pause, when to adjust. People rarely reveal their emotions through full expression. They leak them through subtle reactions. A small change in their tone, a slight flicker in their eyes, a gentle tilt of their head. Those who read emotional signals accurately walk through social environments with natural ease. They don't force anything, they flow, because they sense the path with precision. Social alignment isn't manipulation, it's connection. It's respect. It's attunement to the emotional reality of others. When someone feels you understand their emotional state without them explaining it, they feel seen. When someone feels seen, they trust, and trust is the foundation of all influence. To align with someone's emotional signals, you must stay present. Presence sharpens awareness. Presence silences internal noise. Presence allows you to feel emotional shifts the moment they happen. Most people miss emotional signals because they think while they listen, but social masters listen with stillness. Their mind is clear enough to absorb the moment. Alignment requires emotional neutrality. You cannot align if you bring your own tension into the interaction. Tension distorts perception. Pressure disrupts attunement. You must approach people with openness, not with expectation. When you stay neutral, you see people without your filters. You hear them without assumption. You feel their emotional truth without projecting your own. This neutrality allows you to adjust your communication effortlessly. Some people communicate directly, some indirectly, some emotionally, some logically. Your alignment shifts accordingly. With a direct person, you speak clearly. With an emotional person, you soften your tone. With an anxious person, you slow your rhythm. With a quiet person, you give space. Alignment is the art of becoming who the moment needs, not by losing yourself, but by expanding yourself. People who lack social intelligence hold on to one communication mode. They speak the same way to everyone. They force their style onto the room. But social masters adapt. Adaptation is intelligence. Adaptation is connection. Emotional signals also reveal boundaries. When someone withdraws subtly, they're telling you they need space. When someone leans in, they're inviting deeper interaction. Respecting boundaries is alignment at its highest level. People feel safe with those who understand their invisible limits. They open more. They trust more. They respond more positively. When you ignore boundaries, you break alignment. When you respect them, you build social harmony. You will also notice emotional shifts mid-interaction. A person may begin open, then suddenly become guarded. Something in the conversation triggered a memory, an insecurity, or a fear. The untrained person keeps talking. The socially intelligent person slows down. They soften their tone. They ease the emotional pressure. This subtle shift restores alignment. Your alignment tells the other person, I see you, I understand what you need right now. That feeling is rare, and rarity creates impact. Most people move through life feeling unseen. When you read their emotional signals accurately, you become someone unforgettable. People follow those who understand them, confide in those who feel them, trust those who align with them. This is why emotional alignment is more powerful than speaking skill. People won't remember your words as much as they remember how your presence made them feel. Social masters are remembered not for brilliance, but for emotional resonance. The deeper your alignment, the deeper the resonance. There will be moments where someone's emotional signals contradict their behavior. They may smile while tense, agree while confused, appear calm while overwhelmed. When you read contradictions, you read truth. But alignment doesn't require you to confront their truth. It requires you to gently navigate around it. You adapt your energy so they feel safe enough to drop their emotional armor. Trust grows in the soil of gentle alignment. Not force, not pressure, not intensity. Social intelligence is emotional calibration, a constant balancing of cues, signals, moods, and rhythms, a dance between your energy and theirs. The better you calibrate, the smoother the dance. Alignment also allows you to lead interactions without dominance. When someone feels emotionally matched by you, they naturally follow your rhythm. You gently guide the tone. You shape the flow. You direct the conversation by harmonizing with their emotional state. Leading becomes effortless. Influence becomes natural. Presence becomes powerful. The world responds differently to those who master alignment. Doors open. People soften. Tension dissolves. Respect rises. Because alignment transforms communication from exchange into connection. Every meaningful relationship, personal or professional, is built on this principle. When people feel emotionally aligned with you, they feel safe. When they feel safe, they open. When they open, they connect. Social masters create this opening everywhere they go. This chapter isn't about reading people only. It's about entering their emotional world with grace. It's about adjusting your presence without losing your authenticity. It's about creating harmony that others feel but cannot describe. Once you learn this skill, your interactions shift forever. You will walk into rooms differently. You will speak differently. You will listen differently, because you will see the emotional landscape beneath every moment, and you will know exactly how to move within it. Emotional signals guide you. Alignment empowers you. Together they make you a social master. Chapter 4. Navigating Group Dynamics. Every group has a personality of its own. It behaves differently than the individuals inside it. The moment people gather, a new social force begins to form. This force is the group dynamic, shaped by energy, hierarchy, emotion, and unspoken rules, to master social intelligence, but also to read the invisible structure of a group. You must learn not only to understand individuals. Some groups are loud and fast. Some groups are quiet and warm. Some groups are competitive. Some welcome newcomers, while some are supportive, while others guard their circle. Before speaking, they sense the temperature of the group. A social master observes these dynamics instantly. Before stepping in, they understand the flow. Groups speak their own language, not through words, but through rhythm. Who speaks first? Who influences decisions? Who speaks last? Who holds back? Who listens more than they talk? Who gets interrupted? Who commands attention without asking? Who gets ignored? These are signals of the group's emotional structure. When you understand them, you stop forcing yourself into conversations. You slide into the group naturally. You blend while still being seen. Every group has an anchor, someone whose energy stabilizes the room. Sometimes it's the quiet observer. Sometimes it's the respected veteran. Sometimes it's the enthusiastic talker. If the anchor is relaxed, the anchor sets the tone. The group stays calm. If they're tense, if they're excited, the group stiffens. The group becomes energized. You identify the anchor first. To navigate a group, groups also have unspoken hierarchies. Alignment with the anchor gives you harmony with the entire group. You match their emotional tone, but based on influence, not based on titles. Influence comes from confidence, charisma, experience, or emotional grounding, but everyone reacts when they do. Sometimes they say the least. Those with influence don't always speak the most. You know exactly how to position yourself. You know who shapes the conversation. When you identify these subtle hierarchies, social masters navigate groups elegantly. You know whose attention shifts the group's direction because they understand positioning. It's about awareness. Positioning is not about ego. Sometimes you position yourself as a listener, sometimes as a contributor, sometimes as a connector, sometimes as a grounding presence. The wrong position creates tension. The right position creates acceptance. Groups naturally respond to people who enter with calm awareness instead of anxious energy. People feel your presence before they hear your words. So when you enter a group, your first task is to bring stable energy. Not too excited, not too silent, not too withdrawn, not too dominant. A balanced presence opens space for you. Unbalanced presence closes it. Groups reward those who bring value without disrupting flow. Value doesn't mean speaking the most. It means adding clarity, emotion, humor, or ease at the right moment. Timing is everything. The socially unaware person speaks whenever they want. The socially intelligent person waits for the moment when the group is naturally receptive. You don't cut into conversations. You merge into them. Like stepping onto a moving train smoothly instead of jumping in violently. Group dynamics also reveal emotional clusters. Some share insecurity. Some share confidence. Some people share energy. Reading these clusters helps you approach the group more effectively. A group with shared insecurity needs reassurance. Some share tension. A group with strong confidence needs subtle grounding. A competitive group needs calm neutrality. A stressed group needs gentleness. When you read the group's emotional cluster, you know what energy to bring. Groups interact differently with newcomers depending on their emotional climate. Some groups expand easily, some groups contract. If the group expands, your entry is welcomed. If the group contracts, you must enter slowly, with grace, and without pushing for attention. Social masters never demand space in a group. They create space by bringing the right presence. Groups can also shift energy quickly. A joke changes the tone. A criticism tightens the mood. A story warms the room. A disagreement creates tension. Your job is to feel these shifts instantly. Most people react late. Social masters react early. They sense the emotional wind changing before others notice the first breeze. This ability allows you to guide the group smoothly. You soften it with your presence. If tension rises, if silence grows heavy, you lighten it subtly. You stabilize it. If energy scatters, if conflict escalates, this is invisible leadership. You ground the room, but by emotional influence, not by title. The group begins to look to you as someone who understands the moment, even before it unfolds fully. That kind of presence earns deep respect without needing to ask for it. People gravitate toward those who mirror their values. Groups also form alliances, overt or hidden. Understanding alliances prevents social mistakes. They align with those who carry similar energy. They listen more to those they trust. You know who amplifies your energy and who cancels it. You know where support flows naturally and where resistance waits quietly. Social intelligence in groups also requires holding your center. It's easy to lose yourself in group energy. They become harsher when others are harsh. People become louder when others are loud. They become passive when others dominate. A social master stays grounded. They adjust without losing themselves. They match without becoming a copy. This balance makes the group trust you even more. A small reaction grows big in a group. Group dynamics amplify emotions. A mild tension becomes heavier. A simple joke becomes louder. A single insecurity spreads faster. This is why groups can shift mood rapidly. Your awareness must remain sharp. In groups, people watch each other constantly. They adjust their behavior based on the behavior of others. This chain reaction shapes group harmony or chaos. When you bring balanced energy into a group, you break negative chains. When you bring calm presence, you slow conflict. When you bring grounded confidence, you elevate the whole room. You become a stabilizer, a harmonizer, yet powerfully. A quiet leader whose influence spreads quietly. Groups also reward authenticity. People can feel when someone is pretending to fit in. Pretending brings tension. Authenticity brings ease. When your presence feels real, the group softens. They make room for you. They listen more closely. They engage more warmly. It's about becoming the connection point inside it, the one who links people. Social intelligence is not about becoming the center of the group, the one who understands the room, the one who carries emotional clarity. Groups remember people who make interaction easier, people who lighten pressure, people who shift tension into comfort. That kind of presence becomes unforgettable. Navigating group dynamics requires patience. You cannot force belonging. You cannot rush acceptance. You grow into the group slowly, naturally, with emotional intelligence. As your awareness deepens, you start seeing the group as a living organism, one that breathes, shifts, reacts, and evolves. Every moment offers a signal. You're not guessing anymore. Every signal guides your next move. You're reading, you're aligning, you're shaping the flow. This is mastery. When you understand group dynamics, you no longer feel lost in social spaces. You feel connected. You feel grounded. You feel capable of influencing any room you enter. You stop trying to fit in. You start belonging naturally, because group dynamics no longer intimidate you. You understand them deeply enough to move through them with effortless confidence. And with this understanding, you move into the next chapter with sharper awareness and stronger presence. Chapter 5. The subtle power of social influence. Influence is not loud. It is not forceful. It is not dramatic. True influence moves quietly, shaping people without them realizing they are being shaped. Social influence is the invisible thread that guides behavior, shifts decisions, and opens doors that force never could. The strongest influencers rarely look like leaders. They look calm, grounded, perceptive, and deeply aware of the emotional environment around them. Influence begins not with speaking, but with presence. People respond to energy long before they respond to words. A steady presence signals confidence. A warm presence signals safety. A grounded presence signals reliability. These signals matter more than any statement you could make. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel understood. They listen more. They relax more. They trust more. Influence is rooted in trust. Without trust, your words are noise. With trust, your words become guidance. This trust is not earned through performance, but through alignment and emotional clarity. When your energy is stable, people lean toward you. When your reactions are measured, people take you seriously. When your presence feels calm, people want to follow your direction. This is the beginning of subtle influence. Influence grows through consistency. Not occasional charm, but predictable character. People value those who behave the same in comfort and in discomfort. They rely on those who remain calm when others panic. They respect those who listen when others shout. Consistency builds credibility. Credibility builds influence. But influence is not about controlling others. It is about creating emotional environments where people willingly move in your direction. You guide the energy of a room by managing your own. You shift conversation by shifting your tone. You calm tension by slowing your rhythm. People mirror what they feel. When you ground yourself, you ground others. This mirroring effect is one of the strongest forces in social dynamics. Humans subconsciously reflect emotional states. This reflection creates unity without effort. A subtly influential person uses this natural reflex wisely. They hold the emotional tone they want the room to adopt. If you stay calm in chaos, others calm down. If you stay respectful in conflict, others soften. If you stay confident in uncertainty, others feel safe. This is invisible leadership. Leadership without force. Leadership without title. Leadership without permission. Influence also grows from intention. People feel your motives, even when you say nothing. Those who influence effectively do so with sincerity. They don't chase approval. They don't manipulate. They don't pressure. They guide from authenticity. People respond positively when they sense openness. They resist when they sense hidden agenda. Influence isn't a trick. It is a reflection of who you are internally. Your inner calm becomes outer authority. Your inner clarity becomes outer guidance. Your inner stability becomes outer respect. Social masters understand timing as well. Influence requires speaking at the moment, when the group is emotionally ready to receive your words. Most people speak whenever they want. Socially intelligent people speak when the room becomes quiet, even if only for a second. That silence creates space for impact. Your words arrive at the right moment, and therefore carry more weight. Influence also thrives on emotional range. If you speak in one tone always, your words lose power. But if you shift your tone gently, softer when needed, firmer when necessary, warmer when appropriate, you create emotional resonance. Resonance makes people remember. Resonance makes people feel understood. Resonance makes people open to you. The subtle power of influence also depends on how deeply you listen, not for words, but for intention. People open up to those who hear what they do not say. They trust those who recognize emotional truth beneath polite sentences. Listening makes people feel valued. Feeling valued makes people follow you. Influence grows from making others feel seen, not through flattery, but through genuine presence. A look of understanding can be more influential than a speech. A small gesture of support can shift someone's entire day. A simple acknowledgement can reshape someone's confidence. These moments do not appear grand, but they carry deep social weight. Influence also grows from being emotionally unmoved by small provocations. People admire those who do not react impulsively. They respect those who choose response over reaction. This restraint signals emotional maturity, and emotional maturity is rare enough to command attention. People trust those who stay measured, even when others are heated. This trust deepens influence. Subtle influence is also the ability to adjust without losing your center. You become flexible but not fragile. You adapt without becoming invisible. You soften without becoming weak. This balance draws people in. They feel your strength through gentleness and your confidence through ease. People follow those who hold their identity with quiet certainty. The subtly influential person never forces agreement. They present clarity. They offer perspective. They guide with calmness. And because there is no pressure, others choose to lean toward their direction. Influence also requires humility. Arrogance shuts doors. Humility opens them. Humility is not about lowering yourself. It's about removing unnecessary ego, so others feel comfortable around you. A humble presence is approachable. Approachability invites connection. Connection builds influence. Influence grows through patience as well. You cannot rush trust. You cannot demand respect. You cannot force acceptance. but you can create an environment where trust grows naturally, where respect forms steadily, and where acceptance flows effortlessly. This is what subtle influence does. You influence not because you dominate the moment, but because you align with it. Not because you overpower people, but because you empower them. The ultimate form of influence is not control. It is inspiration. People follow those who make them feel capable. People trust those who make them feel safe. People listen to those who make them feel understood. Social masters influence quietly, yet their impact lasts beyond the moment. Their words echo, their presence lingers, their guidance becomes memory. And because their influence is subtle, people never feel manipulated. They feel supported. They feel uplifted. They feel connected. This is the kind of influence that shapes teams, friendships, communities, and relationships. It is influence rooted in emotional intelligence, guided by awareness, and carried by presence. Once you understand this power, you stop chasing attention. You stop trying to impress. You stop performing. You begin to influence naturally, because your presence speaks before your words do. This is the secret power of social masters. Chapter 6: Social Confidence and Unshakable Presence. Confidence is not the person speaking the most. Confidence is not loud, walking the fastest. True social confidence is quiet, or taking up the most space. Steady, grounded, unshakable. You feel it before you see it, yet becomes impossible to ignore. It is the presence that enters a room gently. Some people carry this presence naturally, others learn it, but everyone can master it. Social confidence is not a performance. It is a state of being. It begins inside, long before you speak, move, or interact. Confidence comes from one truth: you no longer need the room to validate you. When you stop chasing approval, you start carrying presence. Presence rooted in your own emotional stability. People trust those who trust themselves, and that stability changes how people react to you. People gravitate toward those who show up without fear. People feel safe with those who feel safe inside. This is the foundation of an unshakable presence. Social presence is energy. It speaks for you. It announces your arrival without words, shaped by your confidence. Presence is the emotional atmosphere that surrounds you. Calm, weak presence comes from doubt and clarity. Strong presence comes from emotional grounding. When your inner world becomes calm, your outer world becomes powerful. Walking into a room does not become stressful anymore. Speaking does not feel like a test. Interacting does not feel like a performance. You move differently. You breathe differently. You take space differently. Your body softens. Your voice stabilizes. Your eyes relax. This relaxation signals confidence. Tension signals insecurity. To build unshakable presence, you must first master inner stillness. Stillness is the ability to remain centered, no matter what energy surrounds you. Stillness is not silence. You remain grounded. The room may be loud. The group may be fast. You remain steady. The environment may feel tense. You remain composed, and the external world. This separation between your inner world is the essence of presence. Insecurity thrives on comparison. Presence thrives on self-alignment. Presence dissolves insecurity. Your energy becomes stronger. When you stop comparing yourself to people around you, comparison weakens your presence. Alignment strengthens it. The socially confident person never worries about being the best. They focus on being themselves fully. When you show up as your real self, authenticity is confidence. Authenticity is presence. Instead of a version you think people want, your presence becomes magnetic. People trust realness. People open up around realness. People feel comfortable around realness. Unshakable presence is also built through emotional neutrality. Neutrality doesn't mean lack of emotion. You don't rush to fill silence. It means your emotions don't control your behavior. You don't shrink when challenged. You don't panic when observed. You don't force when ignored. People instinctively follow the person who doesn't crumble under pressure. Your stability becomes your authority. This is social gravity. You become the emotional anchor of the environment. Others stabilize around your steadiness. Confidence grows through preparation on the inside. Presence grows through practice on the outside. straight but relaxed posture. Your body communicates confidence long before your words do. Calm but deliberate movement, steady breath, soft but firm eye contact. These subtle habits transform your presence instantly. Confident people do not rush. Rushing is the language of fear. Unshakable presence speaks through patience. Confidence moves at its own pace. You take your time before speaking. You take your time entering conversations. You take your time processing emotion. This patient rhythm signals that you are not threatened. Your confidence becomes fragile. People trust those who are not easily threatened. Another pillar of presence is emotional boundaries. When you depend on how others treat you, unshakable presence means you remain yourself. Even when others misunderstand, interrupt, or overlook you, your value does not shrink because someone fails to see it. Your presence does not weaken because someone speaks louder. You stop reacting emotionally to the behavior of others. Your confidence does not crumble because someone disapproves. Nobody controls how you feel. This is liberation. You choose your own internal state. Nobody controls your voice. Nobody controls your posture. Nobody controls your worth. You walk into rooms with internal authority instead of external dependency. Presence isn't about taking space. It's about owning the space you naturally occupy, not shrinking, not expanding unnecessarily, just existing with certainty. People can feel when someone is comfortable in their own skin. This comfort radiates. It creates ease in others. People start mirroring your calm. People start lowering their guard. People start aligning with your rhythm. You become the emotional reference point in the room. Presence also grows through silence. Not the awkward kind, the controlled kind. People who command silence, command respect. Not because they dominate the moment. Silence becomes a tool, but because they value it. It gives your words weight. It gives your presence depth. It gives your energy strength. Those who fear silence rush to fill it. Those with presence shape silence to their advantage. Your stability in silence becomes a signal. I am in control of myself. I am comfortable here. I do not need noise to feel significant. This confidence doesn't need applause. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need attention. It is self-sustaining. Another element of unshakable presence is emotional transparency. Not oversharing, not dramatizing, just showing small, authentic pieces of yourself without fear. People trust transparency. They fear perfection. Perfection feels distant. Humanity feels relatable. When you allow small glimpses of your real emotions, others instinctively relax. They feel safe to be human too. This mutual acceptance deepens connection and strengthens your social impact. Every interaction becomes stronger. Social confidence also grows through intention. When you enter with purpose, not to impress, not to perform, not to dominate. Chapter 7. Mastering emotional timing. Timing is one of the most powerful forces in social intelligence. It determines whether your words land softly, hit strongly. Two people can say the same thing, or fall silently into the space between people. Creates impact that lasts. That the one who speaks at the right moment. Emotional timing is not about speed. It is about sensing the emotional readiness of others. It is the art of choosing the moment when the heart is open, when the mind is receptive, and when the room is aligned to listen. Most people speak because they feel something. Social masters speak because the moment calls for it. Emotional timing begins with awareness. This difference creates authority without force. Every interaction has an emotional current, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes tense, sometimes warm. If you speak against the current, your message gets lost. If you speak with the current, your message carries effortlessly. They ride it. Great communicators don't interrupt this flow. This is the flow of emotional timing. They feel the rise and fall in a group. They sense hesitation in individuals. They wait for the moment the emotional door opens. When timing aligns with emotion, a gentle, "it's okay," lands perfectly. Even simple words become meaningful. When the listener is emotionally ready, when the person is seeking direction, a piece of advice resonates. A warning becomes valuable. When the person is aware of risk, emotional timing transforms communication. Interconnection. The first element of emotional timing is patience, not the passive kind, but the intentional kind. Patience gives you emotional clarity. It allows you to observe before reacting, before entering the conversation. It lets you read the emotional climate. People who lack timing rush to speak, not emotional alignment. Their words come out as emotional release. Their message feels forced, even when it is right. The socially intelligent do the opposite. They speak less. They let the moment reveal itself and listen more. They let silence test the emotional surface, and then they deliver their words precisely when they matter most. Silence is one of the most powerful tools of emotional timing. Silence reveals tension. Silence reveals openness. Silence reveals readiness. A well-placed pause carries more influence than 100 rushed sentences. People fill empty spaces with emotion. When you give them silence, their real feelings rise to the surface. And when those feelings rise, you see clearly where your words will land. Timing also depends on emotional temperature. Cool down, conversations heat up and shift constantly. If the emotional temperature is too high, logic won't land. If it is too low, passion won't inspire. Social masters use timing to match temperature. When emotion runs high, they bring calm. When emotion fades, they bring energy. When emotion closes, they bring gentleness. When emotion opens, they bring depth. This emotional navigation is subtle, but transformative. Timing is also about knowing when not to speak. Some moments demand silence. Some arguments need space. Some emotions need breathing room. Intervening at the wrong moment can escalate tension. Remaining silent at the right moment can dissolve it. The person who understands timing understands influence. They never rush in with solutions when someone is still trying to express their feelings before trust has formed. They never reveal their deeper thoughts. They never offer advice until the emotional foundation is steady. Timing protects your message. It ensures your truth reaches the heart instead of bouncing off emotional walls. Emotional timing is sensitivity to rhythm, the rhythm of people, the rhythm of groups, the rhythm of energy. Some people communicate in fast rhythm, sharp, immediate, energetic. Others communicate in slow rhythm, soft, thoughtful, measured. When you master timing, you adjust your rhythm to the moment. Rushing a slow thinker overwhelms them. Slowing down for a fast thinker frustrates them. Timing aligns you with the emotional pace of the person you're speaking to. Emotional timing also requires attunement to the eyes. Humans reveal emotional readiness through micro-expressions. The moment someone's eyes soften, they are open. The moment their gaze sharpens, they are defensive. The moment they look down briefly, they are processing. The moment they breathe deeper, they are listening. These signals tell you exactly when to shift your words, your tone, or your direction. Timing becomes precision. When you link emotional cues with your response, emotional timing also influences persuasion. People accept ideas most easily. Trying to persuade someone when they feel emotionally understood, who feels ignored or invalidated, is like speaking into wind. But persuading someone. Chapter 8. How social masters build instant rapport. Rapport is the emotional bridge between two people. It is the connection that makes conversations smooth, moments comfortable, and relationships meaningful. Most people try to build rapport through forced friendliness, excessive talking, or fast bonding. But social masters understand something deeper. Rapport is not created through effort. It is created through alignment. The moment two people feel aligned, in energy, in tone, in pace, rapport emerges naturally. Social masters build this alignment with remarkable subtlety. They connect, not through performance, but through presence, not through charm, but through emotional attunement. Instant rapport is not magic. It is emotional accuracy. The first step is simple. They enter with warm neutrality. Warm neutrality means you carry warmth, but without pressure. You offer openness, but without expectation. You show interest, but without intensity. This balance allows the other person to relax instantly. People feel safe when they are not being pushed. Rapport begins the moment tension disappears. When someone feels they don't have to protect themselves, they begin to lean toward connection. Social masters create this safety as soon as they walk in. Their energy is calm, their posture is open, their eyes show presence without demand. This combination signals, I am here, but I am not here to overwhelm you. Rapport grows faster when the other person feels emotionally respected. Social masters also match rhythm. Every person has a natural social pace. Fast, slow, playful, serious. Most people force their own rhythm. Social masters adjust. If someone speaks softly, they soften. If someone speaks quickly, they quicken slightly. If someone shows excitement, they lift their tone. This subtle mirroring does not copy the person, it aligns with them. Alignment creates familiarity, and familiarity creates comfort. Humans trust what feels familiar, even if they met the person only seconds ago. Rapport also forms through emotional reflection. Social masters reflect not words, but feelings. If someone expresses frustration, they acknowledge the frustration. If someone shares excitement, they match the enthusiasm gently. If someone reveals sadness, they hold space with warmth. This emotional reflection tells the other person, you are seen, you are understood. Being understood is the foundation of rapid connection. Social masters do not try to impress, they try to understand. Understanding outperforms impress every single time. Instant rapport also grows from authenticity. People can sense immediately when someone is trying too hard. Trying creates pressure. Pressure destroys connection. Authenticity relaxes the room. It feels real. It feels human. Social masters don't pretend to be perfect. They carry themselves with natural confidence, free from the urge to perform. Their authenticity gives others permission to be themselves. Rapport forms quickly when people stop pretending. Connection thrives where masks disappear. Another key to instant rapport is attention. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind. When a social master gives attention, it feels complete. Their eyes soften. Their body faces you fully. Their presence stays steady. This full attention makes someone feel valued, not because of what is said, but because of how they are held in the moment. People crave this level of presence because it is rare. Most people listen while thinking about what to say next. Social masters listen to understand. This difference changes everything. Rapport forms instantly when someone realizes you are not waiting to respond. You are actually with them. Social masters also create rapport by adapting their emotional temperature. If the person is nervous, they bring calm. If the person is hesitant, they bring warmth. If the person is excited, they bring openness. They never overpower the emotional state of others. They gently guide it. Guiding emotion is one of the strongest forms of connection. Rapport deepens not through loud expressions,
but through emotional accuracy.
Another secret of instant rapport is subtle intimacy. Not personal intimacy, emotional closeness. Small moments of closeness build trust quickly. A soft nod, a brief smile, a gentle leaning in, a warm silence. These tiny actions create micro-bonds. Human connection is built on micro-bonds, not grand gestures. Social masters create enough micro-bonds that the person feels this interaction feels right. When people feel right around you, rapport forms instantly. Rapport also builds through shared identity, not through forced similarities, but through shared emotional experience. People connect more with feelings than with facts. I understand that feeling creates more rapport than I had the same experience. One connects emotionally, the other connects intellectually. Emotion builds rapport faster. Social masters also use pace control. They never rush the interaction. Rushing signals anxiety. Slow, grounded interactions signal confidence. When your pace is steady, the other person slows down too. And once their pace matches yours, the rapport deepens. This is emotional entrainment, the subconscious syncing of energy between two people. When entrainment happens, connection becomes effortless. People feel emotionally aligned with you, even if the conversation is simple. Rapport grows from alignment, not complexity. Another powerful tool is respectful curiosity. Social masters show interest in people, without intruding, without prying, without pressure. Curiosity feels like warmth. when it comes without agenda. People open up when curiosity comes from presence, not from hunger for information. Respectful curiosity invites trust. Social masters use minimal encouragement, a subtle nod, a small smile. These signals show engagement without interrupting the flow. Rapport grows through these gentle signals. Influence grows with rapport. Once rapport forms, communication becomes smooth. People listen more openly. They share more honestly. They trust more deeply. Connection transforms into influence. Social masters understand that rapport is not temporary. It has ripple effects. It shapes every interaction that follows. A single moment of genuine connection can change how someone sees you for years. Rapport is emotional investment. The more aligned your energy, the stronger the bond becomes. Rapport is not a technique. It is a presence. It is a feeling. It is a rhythm. You build it not by trying, but by being. Being grounded, being attentive, being warm, being aligned, being real. When you show up this way, people feel safe. When they feel safe, they feel connected. When they feel connected, rapport forms instantly. Social masters do not chase connection. They create the environment where connection grows naturally. And because their presence is consistent, rapport follows them everywhere they go. Once you master instant rapport, every interaction transforms, every room feels lighter, every conversation flows easier, and every relationship deepens faster. Because people do not remember your first words, they remember how you made them feel in the first few seconds. Instant rapport makes sure they feel understood, valued, and seen. This is how social masters build connection effortlessly. Chapter 9. Social boundaries and emotional respect. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors. Doors that open with trust and close with disrespect. Every emotionally intelligent interaction depends on boundaries. Without them, connection collapses under pressure. With them, connection becomes stronger, cleaner, safer. Social masters understand boundaries deeply. They know how to protect their own energy while respecting the emotional space of others. Boundaries define how far someone can step into your world and how far you should step into theirs. They shape the emotional distance between people. This distance is not coldness. It is clarity. It is respect. People feel safe when boundaries are honored. People feel anxious when boundaries are ignored. People feel resentful when boundaries are violated. Social boundaries are invisible, but their effects are very real. Mastering boundaries begins with identity. When you know who you are, you know what you allow and what you don't. Unclear identity creates unclear boundaries. People with shaky self-awareness often struggle to say no, to hold firm, to protect their emotional space. But as your awareness grows, your boundaries strengthen naturally. You no longer bend to pressure. You no longer shrink for approval. You no longer tolerate disrespect silently. You protect your peace because you respect your own worth. Boundaries are emotional self-respect. Social masters do not shout their boundaries. They live them. They hold them in posture, in tone, in presence. Why? Because boundaries communicated calmly carry more authority than boundaries communicated aggressively. When you express a boundary gently, people feel clarity, not conflict. Healthy boundaries begin with emotional honesty. You must know what drains you, what overwhelms you, what threatens your peace, what undermines your confidence. These realizations guide the boundary you set. Some people drain you with negativity. Some overwhelm you with demands. Some manipulate your kindness. Some disrespect your time. Boundaries protect you from emotional erosion. They keep your energy intact, your sense of self preserved, your emotional clarity unclouded. Boundaries also shape how people treat you. People treat you according to what you allow. If you allow disrespect, it will repeat. If you allow emotional overload, it will increase. If you allow invasion, it will become habit. Respect grows where boundaries exist. People trust those who protect themselves without harming others. It shows strength. It shows self-awareness. It shows emotional maturity. Social masters set boundaries silently through presence, a calm but firm tone, a steady gaze, a clear posture, a natural confidence. These signals tell others, this is my space, respect it. You don't need confrontation, you need clarity. Clarity becomes boundary. Boundary becomes respect. Another dimension of social boundaries is recognizing the boundaries of others. Everyone has emotional lines they do not want crossed. Some guard their time, some guard their feelings, some guard their vulnerabilities, some guard their privacy. When you respect these lines, you build trust rapidly. People feel safe with those who do not push, do not pry, do not force closeness. Rapport grows when boundaries are honored. Social masters observe emotional signs that reveal a person's boundary. A slight withdrawal, a softer voice, a smaller smile, a shortened response, a glance away. These signals say, slow down, give space, don't go further yet. Respecting these signals creates emotional safety. Ignoring them creates emotional damage. People open only when they feel respected. They close quickly when they feel invaded. Boundaries also exist in communication. Some people need time before sharing. Some need emotional pacing. Some need gentleness. Some need distance. Social masters adjust accordingly. They never pressure someone to open up. They never rush emotional processes. They never exploit vulnerability. They hold space. They support gently. They allow the person to move at their own rhythm. This patience becomes emotional respect. Boundaries also shape conflict. People with weak boundaries react emotionally. They fight to protect what they should have protected earlier. People with strong boundaries respond calmly. They don't need to explode because the boundary was already clear. Boundaries prevent unnecessary conflict by defining emotional limits before tension begins. Respecting your own boundaries also prevents resentment. Resentment grows when you keep saying yes, when your heart is saying no. Resentment grows when you stay silent, when your mind wants clarity. Resentment grows when you accept discomfort to avoid temporary conflict. But the conflict you avoid today becomes the emotional damage you carry tomorrow. Healthy boundaries prevent this damage. You remain connected to others without disconnecting from yourself. Boundaries allow relationships to breathe. They prevent emotional suffocation. Without boundaries, people get too close too fast, and the connection collapses. With boundaries, people get close at the right pace, and the connection strengthens. Social respect grows from emotional distance, balanced with emotional closeness. This balance is delicate. Too much distance creates coldness. Too much closeness creates chaos. Boundaries create harmony between the two. Social masters use boundaries not to limit connection, but to deepen it. When someone feels safe, they connect more honestly. When someone feels respected, they open more deeply. When someone feels understood, they trust more quickly. Boundaries also serve as protection from manipulation. People who manipulate test boundaries gradually. They push a little, then a little more, then even more. Each time they test, they watch your reaction. When you hold your boundary firmly, the manipulation stops. When you hesitate, the manipulation grows. Strong internal boundaries block external control. Boundaries also reveal emotional strength. People admire those who are gentle yet firm, kind yet clear, open yet grounded. This combination is rare. It creates respect instantly. Social boundaries are a form of emotional leadership. You lead interactions by shaping the space around you. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. When your boundaries are strong, your confidence rises, your presence strengthens, your relationships improve, your emotional clarity sharpens. You waste less energy on unnecessary battles. You stop carrying emotional weight that is not yours. You stop letting other people's chaos enter your inner world. This emotional sovereignty makes you powerful. Respecting the boundaries of others makes you wise. Together, these two qualities make you a social master. Boundaries create freedom. Freedom creates connection. Connection creates trust. And trust is the foundation of every healthy relationship, professional, personal, or social. Social boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about letting the right people come close in the right way at the right time. When you master boundaries, your relationships evolve. Your inner peace strengthens, your emotional space becomes sacred, and the world begins to treat you the way you train it to. This is the quiet power of social boundaries and emotional respect. Chapter 10. The psychology of social energy. Every interaction is an exchange of energy, not physical energy, emotional energy, invisible, yet powerful, quiet, yet shaping every moment between people. Social masters understand this deeply because they feel the shifts others miss. Some people drain energy, some people provide energy, some people stabilize energy, some people disrupt energy. But beneath all of this lies one truth: your social effectiveness depends on how you manage the energy you bring and the energy you allow in. Social energy is the emotional atmosphere within you and around you. The atmosphere you create affects how others think, feel, and respond. People do not react to your words first. They react to your energy. Words come second. Energy comes first. Always. You can speak kindly with tense energy, and people will feel discomfort. You can speak softly with warm energy, and people will feel safe. Energy reveals your emotional reality before your mind can disguise it. This is why social masters focus more on their internal state than on their external performance, because the energy you carry becomes the energy others experience. Energy has texture. Some energy feels heavy, some feels light, some feels warm, some feels cold, some feels grounded, some feels chaotic. These textures shape social spaces the way wind shapes water. People react to energy unconsciously. They move toward energy that feels balanced and away from energy that feels unstable. Your presence becomes your influence. The psychology of social energy begins with emotional regulation. If you cannot regulate your inner world, your social energy becomes unpredictable. Unpredictable energy makes people nervous. Stable energy makes people trust. Regulation does not mean suppressing emotions. It means owning them. It means grounding yourself before stepping into a social moment. A calm mind creates calm energy, and calm energy creates respect. Social masters carry this calm consistently, not because their life is easy, but because their emotional presence is trained. They know that emotional chaos inside becomes social chaos outside. Energy leaks through behavior: rushed speech, sharp tone, tense jaw, restless hands, unsteady breath. These leaks show an inner storm. Others feel the storm, even if they cannot explain it. People trust what feels safe. Storms do not feel safe, but a person who grounds their energy makes everyone else feel anchored. This grounding begins with emotional clarity. Clarity removes internal noise. Noise creates unstable energy. When you understand your emotions, you control your energy. When you deny your emotions, your energy controls you. Emotional honesty strengthens social presence. Another dimension of social energy is emotional mirroring. Humans absorb the energy around them. If someone enters with stress, the group becomes tense. If someone enters with warmth, the group softens. Social masters use this reflex intentionally. They lead with the energy they want the room to adopt. A calm person slows the rhythm of others. A confident person expands the confidence of others. A joyful person lifts the energy of others. A grounded person stabilizes everyone. This is energy leadership, leading the space without speaking. You set the emotional tone by embodying the emotion you want others to feel. People remember energy more than information. They forget what you said, but they remember how you made them feel. Energy creates emotional memory. Social energy also shapes status dynamics. People with steady, low reactive energy are perceived as higher status. People with reactive, unstable energy are perceived as lower status. Why? Because stability signals inner power. When your energy is not easily shaken, others instinctively see you as someone who can be relied upon, followed, or trusted. Your energy communicates strength without aggression, confidence without arrogance, presence without pressure. This is why the quiet person with grounded energy often commands more respect than the loud person with chaotic energy. Social energy shapes attraction as well, not romantic attraction, but social attraction. People are drawn to those whose energy makes them feel better. Warm energy comforts, grounded energy reassures, clean energy uplifts, confident energy inspires, dirty energy drains, chaotic energy overwhelms, insecure energy burden, aggressive energy destabilizes. Social masters maintain clean energy. Clean energy is free from resentment, bitterness, jealousy, or neediness. Clean energy is simply presence without emotional contamination. This kind of energy is rare because it requires inner discipline. Social energy also involves boundaries. Without boundaries, you absorb the emotional state of others. You take in their stress, their anger, their insecurity. This makes your energy unstable. But with boundaries, you observe without absorbing. You sense without becoming overwhelmed. You empathize without losing your center. Boundaries protect your energy. Energy protection is not isolation. It is emotional sovereignty, the ability to stay yourself regardless of who surrounds you. When your energy remains sovereign, you bring consistency into every interaction. Consistency creates trust. Social masters guard their energy because they understand how valuable it is. Your energy is your currency. You spend it with every interaction. Where you invest it determines the quality of your relationships. The psychology of energy reveals something powerful. Intensity weakens connection, but depth strengthens it. Intensity overwhelms people. Depth anchors them. Depth is slow, present, attuned. Intensity is fast, forceful, urgent. Social masters choose depth. They slow down instead of speeding up. They speak with intention instead of urgency. They listen with stillness instead of impatience. Depth makes people feel seen. Intensity makes people feel pressured. People open around depth. People close around intensity. Social energy also determines influence. The steady energy gains influence naturally. People seek guidance from those whose presence calms the mind. When your energy feels like stability, people lean into your perspective. Even without trying, your presence becomes persuasive. Influence grows not from louder energy, but from steadier energy. Another pillar of social energy is being selective with emotional access. Not everyone deserves full access to your emotional space. Some people take without giving. Some drain without restoring. Some project without awareness. Your energy is precious. The wrong people can deplete it quickly. Social masters do not give their full presence to those who have not earned it. They protect their inner space while offering warmth selectively. This selective openness creates emotional alignment only with people who reciprocate. This strengthens the quality of connection and prevents emotional exhaustion. Social energy is also influenced by intention. When your intention is pure, your energy feels clean. When your intention is manipulative, your energy feels heavy. People feel intent even before they understand it. Intent leaks through energy. Social masters carry intentional clarity to connect, to understand, to uplift, to align. This intent forms the foundation of strong social presence. The ultimate expression of social energy is emotional harmony. When your inner energy aligns with your outer behavior, you become congruent. Congruence is powerful. It makes you believable. It makes you trustworthy. It makes you magnetic. People are drawn to those whose energy and actions match. There is no confusion, no contradiction, no mask. Your authenticity becomes your power. Mastering the psychology of social energy changes everything. People begin responding to you differently. Interactions feel smoother. Connections grow stronger. Tension dissolves faster. Respect rises naturally. You stop losing energy in unnecessary places. You stop feeling drained by social environments. You stop carrying emotions that are not yours. You become the anchor, the center, the still point in the room. This is the emotional signature of a social master. Your energy becomes your presence. Your presence becomes your influence. Your influence becomes your identity. And the world responds to the energy you choose to cultivate. This is the psychology of social energy, the quiet force shaping relationships, communication, and human connection. When you master this force, you stop chasing social success. It begins to follow you naturally. And so, your journey ends here. Not because there is nothing left to learn, but because you have learned enough to begin a new way of living. Social intelligence is not a trick, not a performance, not a mask you wear. It is the quiet awareness that shapes how you move through the world and how the world moves around you. Every chapter you have walked through has strengthened a different part of you. Your awareness, your emotional clarity, your presence, your timing, your influence, your boundaries, your ability to feel people without losing yourself. Now you stand at a new place inside yourself, a place where connection feels natural, confidence feels quiet, and communication feels effortless. You are no longer reacting to the social world. You are shaping it, guiding it, leading it. Because true social mastery was never about being impressive. It was always about being aligned with yourself, with others, with the energy between every moment. Carry this awareness forward. Let your presence speak before your words. Let your energy stabilize the spaces you enter. Let your intelligence soften the edges of life. And remember, you don't become a social master one day. You become one every day through how you show up, how you connect, and how deeply you understand the hearts around you. This is your new beginning. Walk into the world with the emotional clarity of someone who finally sees what others never learned to notice. Your mastery has already begun.